I liked Ben. I really did. I mean, he was a nice guy. We had some fun times together in college, messing around the dorm, going to parties, all that dumb shit that college guys do. He was cool and all, but he was a little pretentious. I guess the word he used was artistic. Perhaps the most annoying thing he did was that he did performance art. I mean, really? Anyway, I hung out with Ben a few times after college, but we mostly just met up to do some heavy drinking and maybe hit a strip club or two. He considered that performance art as well, which was just fine with me. I mean, it gave me an excuse to waste someone's. Since we didn't hang out very often, I kinda had a bad feeling when he contacted me about a month before last Halloween. He called me up at about 11 in the morning on a Saturday, which is too early to even consider waking up, in my opinion. I answered in a daze and he started running his mouth like crazy. I was too afraid that if he didn't say everything he had to say quickly, he never would. Mike, hey Mike, listen buddy, I need your help, okay? Okay, I've got this idea for a performance and well, it's gonna be killer, you know? So good, it's going down on Halloween. Can you come help? Look man, I'll even pay you, $50, how about it? Now I've never cared much about Halloween one way or the other, and I'm a pretty easy guy. $50 to probably just sit there and run a fog machine or some bullshit. Sign me up. For the right price, I could even pretend that I wanted to be there. Besides, what else are friends for? On my computer, he had sent me an email with more information. He explained that he had planned a treasure hunt and already had a few volunteers. They were supposed to follow the clues to the treasure and, well, to him. He wanted to rebirth the vampire and for that he had to be buried. He wanted me to bury him. That line hit me the hardest. I stared at my screen for a few minutes, completely dumbfounded. Once I cut through all the bullshit about art and vampires and rebirth, what it came down to was death. This guy actually wanted me to almost kill him. I mean, sure, it probably was safe, but my mind went over the plan slowly. What if I couldn't get him out in time? One shovel and a pit of dirt would not be a fast job. Furthermore, what if something happened to me? Before making a decision, I sent him another email asking if he was really sure he was up for this. Of course he was sure, he said, and then he said something that would always stick with me. Art must be a little dangerous for it to be real. A month later, I found myself standing at the foot of the grave. I stood there like an idiot. In the end, I decided to go along with this stupid gig. Ben was a stubborn bastard, and if I didn't help him, well, someone else would. At least that's the justification I gave myself, but the real reason was that deep inside my heart, his words were still echoing. Art must be a little dangerous for it to be real. I ended up doing a lot more work than I thought, but that was okay. He had offered to pay me more money anyways. I helped him into the coffin and I shut the lid. I fit the PVC pipe into the hole and it fit in perfectly. I climbed out of the coffin, grabbed my shovel, and I took one last look at the dirt. With a resigned shrug, I started to shovel in the dirt. Okay, well, he asked for this, I thought. 3 hours later, his participants still hadn't come. Of course they weren't coming. They were still fanatically searching for the last clue. Carefully, I picked up a handful of disturbed earth from the top of the makeshift grave and I poured it down the pipe. I poured it down and I listened. I heard the muffled exclamation, the series of expletives. I thought I could hear a thumping sound. He must be hitting the top of the coffin. I smiled a little to myself as I poured some more dirt in through the pipe. Ben's struggles got louder and I felt a certain heat rising up in me. Oh, I knew it could be good, but I didn't know it could be this good. This was incredible. This was perfect. This was godly. Eventually, I grew bored of shoving the earth down into the coffin. I could hear Ben screaming and sobbing reverberating up the pipe. I yanked a handkerchief out of my back pocket and I stuffed it inside. I made sure to plug it up good and tight. It would only be a matter of time now. Assuming he could regulate his breathing, he could possibly have a few hours. But I knew he was panicking, and that would simply serve to shorten his time. The pounding grew weaker as I sat back and watched. Once I was certain there was no saving him, my work was done. Ben was right. Everything really did go off without a hitch. I really don't know what I was so worried about. I was admiring my work, the work of a real artist. Finally, I had been given this opportunity to prove my worth. Finally, I had found my sacrificial lamb, and it had been a rousing success. The heat raging in my body affirmed that much. I didn't even care if I was caught, so long as I could have this moment to hold on for the rest of my life. Art must be a little dangerous for it to be real.